What is up, everybody? It is your favorite podcast, Commanders Draft Pod. As you can see, we're going ahead and get started. Um, Definitely have some things we're going to be doing today where we talk about the wide receiver position. Everybody's been bored with the defensive lineman, bored with the defense overall. We're going to be touching on the offensive playmakers. What guys suits Cliff Kingsbury offense and Jada Daniels. We touched on the first round and second round and beyond for the NFL draft. So buckle up. It's your favorite crew for the Commanders Draft Show. What's going on, everybody? It's the Commanders Draft Show live on YouTube and on Twitter and on Facebook. It's your favorite game. Your boy DT Sensei Deuce is in the house, and we also have Kyle from the Podfather from the Burgundy Zone podcast, also Smoke and also Radar as well. What's up with y'all, family? Happy Sunday to you guys.
Happy Sunday, brother. I just wondering what Deuce is looking at. I wonder if some news just popped up.
Let me find out. Oh, he don't pull the C Henry.
Can't hear you yet, Deuce. His mic has been acting up. Might have to go to pods.
But most definitely. So we are T minus, I believe it's 18 days, I think, for the NFL draft, Kyle. We're almost there. But for you, let's talk about this little topic right now. Obviously, you see some of the prospects and stuff. Some people are high on people, some people are low on people. Then other people just go a complete 360 on these prospects. We do this every year, but certainly it is draft fatigue for a lot of these guys. Like we're just ready for the day to get started and to see where these young men go. So, what is your thought on draft fatigue when it comes to certain prospects, whether it's good or the bad?
It doesn't matter for position.
It could matter for position, maybe like quarterback, wide receiver, running back. Um, your favorite corner, can he cover? He's only a zone guy, something like that in that nature.
Yeah, because like the draft fatigue is definitely a thing. I mean, it happened to me last year because in my initial diagnosis of the quarterback room, I really didn't like Drake May. I thought that he threw too many balls into the ground. Like I called it the McNabb throws. If you remember when McNabb was here with Washington, he would throw like a 10-yard hitch. He would throw it into the dirt, right? And that's what I kind of saw with Drake May. And I was like, I don't like it. But when I watched Jaden Daniels, I was like, okay, this dude's a sniper, man. The accuracy that he's able to put some of those balls, and the running really wasn't a thing for me. Like in looking at it, saying that's gonna be a strength going into like it was more so just him being a quarterback I really liked, and so I even had like Penix above Drake May at the point. But once we got towards draft time, the whole thought process of the long term sustainability of like health and everything really just derailed my evaluation and really like kind of took it over. So like this time around, I'm much more like thinking like go off of your initial just eyesight. What do you see? What do you like? What don't you like? And go off of it based on that. So the draft fatigue is definitely a thing, man. And especially like with I think corner is one of the hardest ones for me personally to kind of evaluate just because like Deuce had talked about with corners, if you don't have stats put up on you, it's typically a good thing, right? And so it's hard to be able to gauge if the ball's not being thrown to him. How are you able to really gauge how well he's doing at coverage? And I think corner is one of those really difficult ones. But wide receiver, I will say, man, one of my favorite prospects I've ever breaking down was definitely the boy up in Minnesota, Justin Jefferson. I screamed it from the mountaintops. I think this kid is like the next coming of Odell in terms of being a superstar type of guy, and he absolutely fit that bill. And I'm excited about this episode in particular because I really do like evaluating wide receivers. I'm not even sure if that answered your question, DT. I didn't even really hear it.
Nah, I mean, it definitely answered to an extent. I just think for when we do stuff like this, especially like doing draft content, covering these prospects. A lot of things that we start to see, it comes up with reports of about the person's character, comes
Yeah.
up with reports about, certain games that this person played. Did he play competition, or he was a guy that was being carried by other people around him, the sorts of stuff like that. I think, like, for me being a content creator for the past couple of years, actually doing this, I'm starting to realize that all of this is just coming up because it's almost just like when we're trying to get ready for football season is so long. Like, the draft is so long as well. Like, you're just waiting every single day for that time to come up. And I think just for our fans and alone, like, yes, okay, we're at 29, so definitely the fatigue is going to be very long for us because we have to wait all the way to that pick. But we're trying to nitpick, see, like, oh, I don't want this guy here at 29. He don't do this, do that. But I mean, it gets annoying at this point. Like, you just gotta trust your eyes, trust your evaluation, and just go with your gut sometimes.
Yeah, and it definitely goes into their strengths too, right? Like how can the defensive or offensive staff work with this guy's strengths? Because that's one thing like Dan Quinn has harped on ever since he's gotten here is that the strengths that that player has, we're going to be able to maximize that, right? Be able to tap into their superpower, like Dan Quinn says. And so just finding those strengths. But the funny thing is, like after a year from removed from the first draft that they had, you're really like you went into the last year's draft saying they like the taller, leaner kind of corners, that basketball background, right? But then they went and got Mikey Samerstill because so you're like, wait a minute, are we wrong about that, right? And I don't think that's the case. I think it's much more of like a unique circumstance with Mikey just being the leader that he was. But I think this time around, it's just getting harder. It's hard just to try to find what the strength that they covet the most and being able to hit on that. I think that's really hard for everyone, especially the fan base, and that's the way that they want it because they're trying to cause confusion between their competitors, right? Not be able to come up and get their guy. And so this by design is that way, I guess. Deuce looks concerned.
Now, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes,
hear you great.
All right. Now we back. Draft fatigue, that's the convo, right?
yes.
You know what I'm not fatigued about? This guy.
Oh yeah,
Go.
dude, his speech was great.
Y'all
Absolutely
hear?
great speech. Yeah. Oh, I can't hear it. I can't hear the video. No,
You can't hear the video? Hold on.
Go.
his speech afterwards was absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, even a great one, like his was too. His was too.
I feel like the DC market is really missing out on an opportunity with the world of politics that we live in. Having a great Russian in DC, you think that they would get his opinion on politics, just to be able to see what he thinks about things. But nobody wants to touch that bear.
All right, here we go.
Look at the slide.
If you're going to sit here, Morel, I'm going to take a shot. I'll pass it to you. One touch it to me right away.
I didn't know they called that.
That's Ovi mic'd up.
Dude, that's awesome. Nearly banged his chin on the ice.
Dang, bro. Go, dog. We got a goat icon in DC.
And they actually kept him. So many times, like especially the Nats, where like they had these superstar guys, but they just don't want to pay them. And luckily, we were able to keep Ovi here. And dude, he's been through it, bro. He's been through it.
Through it, bro. But at least he got a ring, though, right?
Absolutely. What a magical,
Yeah,
magical time.
Oh yeah.
I think the great thing about this is that like they offered him to do an empty netter the other night. and he told his coach or whatever they call. He told him no, I don't want to do that.
Smart dude.
I love it.
He's a ball player, man. Puck player, whatever you want to say.
Let me get to the original one, and then we can keep going with the wide receivers real quick. But like these are some things to come, man. You know, it's just great to be able to be in this market, to be able to have somebody like him to be around so long. I don't think it shouldn't be a debate anymore about who the greatest DC athlete is of all time. I don't think that should be a debate anymore.
No, there should. Who would be? I mean,
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
It's so much change.
Yeah, especially with football. There's nobody in football. I mean, moments. I think Doug Williams still have the biggest moment ever in DC sports. The best year, of course, would go to RG3. The best year in DC sports. Somewhere the Nationals, you got to throw something in there for them for their championship run. But as far as overall the greatest athlete, it's hands down Ovi.
I mean, you can make an argument for Max Scherzer, like being in the conversation, but Ovi just torches him.
Who you say, Pop? My bad. I cut the thing off.
Max Scherzer, you can make an argument for just being like in that top 5 type of area. But Ovi, longevity and what he's done, it's absolutely incredible. Yeah. And the Stanley Cup really puts the icing on the cake.
Exactly. Yep. And now being the all-time leading scorer in his sport is big too. Like, I don't even know. Like, do we have any all-time records? Individual all-time records in football or basketball?
Oh man, I mean, B Mitch is still second in total yards all time.
All purpose, yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
Better get a statue ready.
Yeah. Well, we can't say the greatest DC coach, Joe Jackson Gibbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can y'all hear this?
No.
You can't hear it? Hold up.
I think you have the volume maxed turned off on the video.
Yeah, when I shared it, because I don't know. Do you used StreamYard, Kyle?
No. So that's the thing is, I was for the longest time I was like, I should definitely go to StreamYard. It makes it so much easier to share things and video, but then they started charging. And I was like, yeah, no dice.
Yeah, it's that's why I'm glad I was telling one of our UK boys when he was asking me about it. I was grandfathered in from those price hikes, so I'm glad about that. But now they just did all of these upgrades, and it's so many different. First, DT was 2 ways to share. Yeah, now it's like 4 ways to share.
Yep.
Which makes it so much better.
I think Joe Gibbs winning 3 Super Bowls with 3 separate quarterbacks might be one of those things that won't get broken.
Yeah, most definitely. You talking about a force multiplier as a coach? Yeah. Like, name me a coach that didn't have like the quarterback. I guess the Ravens, the 2000 Ravens, maybe.
Yeah.
The Bears. The Bears had I don't know why Shane Matthews popped in my head, but who was the Bears quarterback in '85?
McComb? No, McMahon.
McMahon. Yeah, Shane McMahon. Oh, it's not. All right, y'all can hear it now, right? I kept watching this. I was like, where is Ovi? Because this is not him. Like, this is number 6, I think. I was like, where's Ovi? But if you look at the top, he's just standing right beside his bench. Oh, there he goes. See, that's not. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. That's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for the original one.
Here
Here it is. Here it is. All right. Bear with me. Here we go.
Try to force it to him if he's open. Here is Ovechkin. Shoots. He scores. Try to force it to him if he's open.
Like, can you like you hear the crowd like when they see him at he grab it. Yo, we go ahead, Kyle.
Dude, like I was gonna talk, like literally, I couldn't. It blew my mind how excited the opposing fans were for Ovi scoring that goal. Like I thought that was really talked a lot about Long Island and their fans, because that was like it was like a home game almost. It was crazy.
And people were talking about like him wrestling and just breaking the record at home.
No.
Yeah, that's true. People was.
The longer it takes, man, like Barry Bonds will tell you about that with him getting the record, and how it's just like that stress just wears on you. Ovi's just like, nah, man. Well, if I can get it, I'll get it. You know.
All right,
I've heard some funny stories about Ovi.
Well, give us a couple. Look, man, we will have Ovi for about 5 more minutes. We got to pay respect to the
that he would he'd come to Washington games, and a couple of my buddies saw him going from tailgate to tailgate drinking floaters. You know what floaters are, right? Yeah. And then the other one was my buddy they had seen Ovi get into his car with his family and friends, and they had left their trunk open, and like as they're walking by, they asked my buddy to close the trunk. My buddy was like, "Can I get an autograph, by the way?" And Ovi just looked back and was like, "No." Then he closed the trunk and just left. He's a real dude, man.
All right, yeah. I don't know why I can't find it. That's all right. But yeah, it was awesome for Ovi, man. All right, let's get back into it. Shout out to Ovi. Much respect to Ovi. DC GOAT. I don't think it's debatable anymore.
No.
Gilbert had better years than RG3's rookie years. Gilbert. Who's he?
Gilbert Arenas.
Well, I don't think so.
Can't really compare them, to be honest. Just being real.
Sammy Baugh has the best punting average in NFL history. I take it. The 92 team we had was one of the best ever, top to bottom.
In the NFL history.
Yeah, that's true. Gibbs had a poor succession plan and coaching tree. Bill Walsh and Bill Parcells were better when you figure in their coaching trees. I mean, yeah, but we're talking about the actual coach.
We're not
talking what he was able to do with his staff.
And if anything, that says more about him. You know, it wasn't like he was leaning on the coaching staff to do a heck of a whole lot. Like literally, whatever was built there was a lot of it has to come with him.
And we were losing right after he retired initially.
I don't know, Vito. I mean, man, that RG3 year was something special, bro.
Oh, absolutely, it was.
I mean, this year was Rose. That hindsight might be something.
Yeah, but you know what takes the cake?
What?
We broke a lot of things literally after post Dan Snyder. A lot of people didn't see
like that right there. That right there.
We didn't see 11 wins in so long.
It wasn't no confusion.
Right.
Like RG3 year, it wasn't no drama. Like it wasn't any of that. So I mean, yeah, Vito, you might be right. I'm not gonna argue either way though. Ruby Sam was knocked his tooth out. When he told him if he get 900, he'll buy him a car. Well, like the Gretzky also told Leonis that they got him. What he said, they got him a Rolls Royce when he broke the record. And then that's what he told Leonis. He might go to there. All right, let's get into these wide receivers. Oh, what does Jaden Daniels have to do to outdo Ovi's career in DC?
2 Super Bowls.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I said this on my show today. I think one of the probably unbreakable records is Brett Favre's starting games record consecutive. And I think that if Jaden were be able to pull that off to beat Brett Favre's record and get two Super Bowls, I think that's easily. I mean, we all know football's king around here, man.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree.
All right. Let's get into the wide receivers. Yeah, man. Sunday I won't be able to really look at nothing, man. I see y'all did all the work for me, so I just got to go to the group and pull up some of these clips. But do we talk about wide receiver at all? Like if we should go wide receiver first round, should we not? Did we discuss that?
No,
we did not discuss that.
All right, let's start with you, Kyle.
We're waiting for you, Deuce.
What you what you think, Kyle?
I think Adam Peters said it very well, and that the way that they've orchestrated themselves, they are in a position where they can go anywhere. And as much as we want, like the fan base, myself included, want to pigeonhole them into edge or corner, safety, and wide receiver, like they could go in any amount of way. So I think that based on how the draft board plays out, if you're getting somebody on the opposite side of Terry long term, because you could say Debo can operate out of the slot, be that motion kind of guy, but I can also see them having the rotation of wide receiver 2 being between Noah Brown, KJ Osborne, and Michael Gallup. And based on what we had in the wide receiver room last year, I don't think that's a losing kind of way to orchestrate your offense, because now we added Debo to the equation, and you still haven't seen what you got out of Luke McCaffrey. So I honestly would not poo-poo them if they went down the wide receiver route in round 1. And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I think they're in a very good position to do that, because there's guys like Jaden Higgins who are sitting there, and they're going to be gone by 61. Jalen Knoll from Iowa State as well are going to be gone by 61. But there are some quality guys in this draft class that can do it.
Yeah, we're talking about when best player available, and obviously, just like Kyle said, I think the general consensus around majority of Commanders fans, or to say the least, that they're looking at edge as the number one need. But being in fact that we are at pick 29, and you see the consensus of majority of mock drafts that there's going to be a lot of edges that I believe will be coming off the board, and they'll be probably gone by the time they get to us. So the question will be now, okay, are you going to spend your first round pick on edge number 6 or number 7 in this class, or just go with whoever's the best player on the board at a different spot? I think that's, as we get to this draft process, finally get to draft night, that's where we're going to be approaching, based on the fact of guys like Ezra Rock, who scored, and them guys have been rising up the board. I think for me, wide receiver is definitely something they still need to address. Like Debo Samuels, yes, I like the move. But more likely it's a 1-year deal to prove it, to see can he still play at the level that he is expecting himself to play. Then you got Noah Brown, who contributed. KJ Osborne came in late. Luke McCaffrey, we drafted in the 3rd round. There's still room for improvement, and Jaden's on a rookie contract. You want to get him a reliable guy that can take pressure off of Terry McLaurin as his number 1 target. So you have to do anything you can to improve the room, and it could be tight end, it could be wide receiver, running back, something to take pressure off of Jaden for this offense.
Yeah, I've been saying this. I would really like to be able to get a wide receiver in this draft in the top half for Jaden to grow with. Obviously, he has Luke McCaffrey, but just being that obviously our wide receiver room is somewhat older, you could say, but being able to bring in a little bit more youth just to say this is somebody that can grow. Because if you look at Devontae Adams, when he was drafted wasn't considered Devontae Adams. It wasn't until a little bit of years down the road that he really blossomed into the superstar that he was. And I think that that's something you really want to do with Jaden Daniels, is getting him a young wide receiver that he can grow with and have that relationship with, and be able to really pop some things off.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like some people do have a problem with it, but I just think that they obviously had questions about the room last year.
Yeah.
And you have an opportunity to still address that problem. It's not really a problem now, but in more of like the future sense of getting a guy that can contribute and be a reliable target to take pressure off of Terry. Terry has not really had a wide receiver that has had more than probably 400 to 500 yards in any season. Maybe like Curtis Samuel had like 600, but sometimes Curtis would disappear. And Jahan Dotson was supposed to be the number 2 wide receiver. So they have to address this draft by if a wide receiver is there and they love him, you go ahead and take him. If it's a running back that they love, go ahead and take him. If it's an offensive tackle, even though you address offensive line heavily, but you feel like the value is there and you can plug him in the spot he could play, take that offensive tackle.
Yeah, and that's the one question that keeps coming to my mind is because I keep saying that we need to be able to be built to beat Philly. Now, would you be willing to say that a wide receiver is what's going to be the difference between us beating Philly? Not 100% sure about that, but I do know that being able to stockpile the trenches with really good long-term talent is something that you can really hang your hat on and say, we'll be able to go up against that defensive front and be able to move bodies around and run the football. I think that's our number one concern against Philly because they'll strangle you to death with their front four.
All right, Gus' question is: do you want to draft a wide receiver the first 2 rounds if you've given Debo a platform before this year, as well as Lucas Senate more of a chance to? I think that's a good question.
Yes. Yes.
You say yes?
Yes. Because it's about being able to extend the field, right? Being able to take the top off of defense. And what we saw last year with Diami Brown is Diami Brown was giving you that vertical kind of threat, but it was few and far between, right? Mm-hmm. But you want to be able to replicate that. And if you're able to do that, that's going to open up the middle of the field for Debo. It's actually going to be able to allow Debo more room to operate and make him look better. And so I don't see anything wrong with it. You're adding more into the room. My concern is, I would say, with Houston put a lot of assets into adding more weapons for CJ Stroud. But we saw this year, the weapons don't really matter if you're getting destroyed by your offensive line every play, right? And that's my big concern is like, where do we feel confident enough in the offensive line and what we have to be able to add that weapon in order to maximize our production? And does that negatively affect the defense at all by where we're selecting that? I'm not sure if he'll be T. Higgins. But he definitely, dude, he's one of my favorite guys. He's definitely somebody that would fit the mold of that wide receiver on the outside opposite Terry. Not going to be a slot guy, Jaden Higgins. But his measurables, he really performed at his 40. His game speed is not matching up with his combine speed. That's for sure. But when you throw him the football, he's going to come down with it. And I really like Jaden Higgins. Ryan Fowler is the one that talked about him to me early on in the process. And watching him and Jalen Noel, they really jump off the screen to you when you watch an off game from them. And they are out there performing. And Jaden Higgins was obviously a number 1 target, and for good reason. He's a big body, 6'4", 200-something pounds, and he's got great hands, man. He catches.
Yeah.
North Dakota.
Yeah, watching him play this year, he has been a very consistent receiver at Iowa State, playing alongside with Jalen Noel. So they were a absolute beast of a duo at Iowa State this year. Right at the side, 6'4". I think he's about 215 about right now, but you see him able to be a smooth route runner, make plays on the ball, jump ball situations, and just looking at the route runner right here. Oh, that's one of the vertical routes. Is this the clip?
Yeah, these the all verts.
Oh, okay.
You can see the heavy feet. And you could almost equate it to how Jaden Daniels runs, where it's like that long gazelle, the long stride kind of guy. It's not like the agility, and that's where Jalen Noel really specializes in.
Yeah, and he can get on top of you fast.
Yeah.
That's why he was getting so many penalties. Kind of like Noah Brown. He has that deceptive, the speed, right? But you're not anticipating it. But once he gets on top of you, it's very hard, especially if the ball is put where only he can get it, being as though he can use his height to his advantage. I think he uses his height very well.
Absolutely. And he has a wide catch radius. I think the one big question is, I think in the NFL, they're really going to press on him and see how he gets off the line, right? Because we talk about that agility. You don't want to allow him to hit that long stride. You got to mess up the timing of the play. And that's probably one thing that Jaden Higgins is going to have to be concerned about. Because, look, I love the guy. I don't want to be negative, but every guy has positives and they have negatives, right? And that's one thing with Jaden Higgins that kind of is drawing me back, because when I originally heard that they had a big meeting with Jalen Noel, I was like, well, why aren't they talking to Jaden Higgins? Well, because Jalen Noel is the vertical explosive guy that can operate in the middle of the field and hit the seams.
And that's the difference between him and Jaden Higgins, right? Like he's not. I like Jaden Higgins a lot, but like he's not like a contested catch guy, right? He kind of like when he has to fight for it, or if it's not put where only he can get it, he kind of struggles. He doesn't, that thing that Terry gives you when, his concentration and the strength in his hands to go up and get it. Jaden Higgins really doesn't give you that. But again, I like Jaden Higgins, but like Kyle said, it's a lot more than just the one thing.
Yeah.
And I think Noah Brown gives us some of that. Like, so if you're looking for versatility around the line of scrimmage, then I would be surprised if they go with Jaden Higgins.
Yeah,
I sent you something on Jalen Noel in the group chat, and all the film breakdowns did on these wide receivers for this episode.
Yeah, I got it.
Just to touch on things. I do see Higgins. I feel like he could play all three positions.
Yeah.
The one biggest thing I know is about him that's very similar to Noah Brown is that how reliable he is when teams were playing a lot of zone coverages, he was like Noah Brown was there. He was there and he was making those important 11 to 12-yard catches to keep the chains moving. And that's the same realm I see with Jaden Higgins. Now, to your point, Deuce, I do feel like he can be better at the catch point when it's contested. If that's what separates Terry from a lot of receivers when it's contested catch situations. And he has the size and stuff to be like a Drake London, but I think at times he doesn't play like a Drake London.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Like when we talk about a perfect fit, this is who I think about. As far as like a perfect fit to our offense.
I love Golden, man.
I mean, look at the routes. This like the scare of him running past people. And when you think about Diami and what you wanted or thought you would get from Diami in year 4, is that ability to be a threat that you're not going to go deep. And this is what he gives you, right? What you think about him, Kyle?
Well, from what I watched on film, he definitely does stand out, like the go-to guy, the one that they do go and
that's contested.
Yeah,
like that's the type of play I'm talking about. Like I don't think he can make this play, DT.
Talking about Jaden Higgins.
Yeah,
I agree with you. And I think that's what the clip you showed of Jaden Higgins was, the contested catches and incompletions there. But with Matthew Golden, I do wonder if he's even going to be there at 29, based on his combine and all that stuff.
No doubt it.
Yeah. He obviously has the tools to operate in the middle of the field. You saw it there, to be able to create the separation, the footwork. There's so much that goes into it. And that's what he's a lot better than Jaden Higgins, right? Because Jaden Higgins is a little bit more sluggish, more of that kind of catch radius, get the ball to him, short yardage type stuff. But Golden, man, he has that explosion for you. It's just unfortunate that the quarterback play, as much as they want to pump up Quinn Ewers, if he had a little bit better of a passer, I think that he'd be exploding in the top 10.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, Ronnie, I don't think he's going to be there.
Yeah.
But I mean, this guy right here is kind of falling for some boards, and this guy right here might be a real option. DT. I mean, how do you feel about him? You watched him.
Most definitely. Emeka Egbuka is one of the best wide receivers to ever play at Ohio State. He's broken. He broke an all-time record.
Look how he comes back for the ball, Kyle. You can't teach this. Look, you can't. Yeah. You can't teach that. My bad.
You're right. You're right.
You good. He broke an all-time record at receptions at Ohio State, and I think the biggest reason why he is not as he's touted, but he's not as touted as the other guys is there's nothing really physical that pops off to you, but he's just a very clean route runner.
Mm-hmm.
He gets the ball where he's supposed to be. He knows where he's supposed to be at, and he is literally he is Terry McLaurin if he actually had more opportunities at Ohio State.
DT, this is how you sell a run play. This is how you sell a run play. That's how you sell a run play. If anybody asks you, what does it look like when a wide receiver sells a run play? Like what you're looking for. That's exactly what it is. Look at this. He sells it perfectly.
Running half speed.
Yep, perfectly.
Yep.
I like this.
Brian Hartline, dude. He is a great teacher. And
my goodness, man, he got receivers after receivers after receivers.
Now, apparently, the young kid from OSU is the one that they're raving about.
Yeah, Jeremiah is one.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's something we need. He's just reliable, man. Like, he makes play after play. And if it wasn't for 2020,
you know what, Gus, you might be on to something. What you think, DT? I mean, I know that's a crazy name to put on a rookie, but what you think, Kyle? DT? I know the name scares us a little bit. I know the name scares us a little bit. I know. But what you think?
Man, I mean,
look at them. Like like Kyle, you like kids don't run the seam route down the seam. Look how he step, bro. Watch how he step out. Look at that to get around the linebacker just to create enough space, bro. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Well, and I played with some wide receivers that were scared of contact. They'd say stuff to you in practice like, don't tackle me too hard, stuff like that. And so for a guy at this level, to know that safety is over top, and notice he doesn't stay out, right? He does comes right back in.
Yeah.
And that speaks a lot.
With the safety in between.
Yep.
Like he gives the quarterback a pocket right here. He takes the steps out and he goes right back into a vertical look down the seam, and he gives them a pocket. Just enough for him to be able to that hotline got
that's
something
my favorite
different,
route
man.
right there.
That hotline got something different.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's the first I'm seeing of Egbuka, and I really like what I'm seeing. Because honestly, I didn't think that he'd be getting there to 29.
He might,
just based on what it's been saying about him. I know that The most
last couple
important,
weeks,
the
I
one
think.
thing that we have to say in there, like the most important part in the scouting process for teams is the interview process. And
Yeah.
all that being said, they are saying that Igbokwe is destroyed his interviews and similar to Terry McLaurin did.
He got hold on, wait a minute. He's
Go back.
got to be the best route runner in this draft. Watch this route right here. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Is that versus Michigan?
Yes.
Yep. So the slide, the inside cornerback has inside leverage. He's taking away his inside leverage. Watch. Took it away. Just took it away. Forced him to believe he's going to like a corner route or maybe some type of out route. Watch what he does.
Was against, though?
And he turns it right back in. Look at his safety.
Do you know
his safety don't know? What'd you say?
Do you know who that was against?
I'm not. I don't. It doesn't matter, and I don't want to talk about it.
Is that Mikey?
Yeah,
Mikey.
That's Mike. You could tell. I knew that from the top.
The safety was standing over there like the Chicago Bears dude at the Hail Mary when you paused it there.
I knew who that was, DT. You had to say something, though. Look at that. I like Cal. He didn't just run the route up. Like, oh my goodness. I like this kid, man. If he's, man.
How is he off the line of scrimmage?
He doesn't have a lot of he doesn't have a lot of bump and run because he's usually the inside receiver most times.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really have a lot of that. There was a little there, but even still, he wasn't like the primary guy.
It also might be because of his deep threat ability. Sorry, DT.
I just wanted to ask this quick question. Do you guys remember why Justin Jefferson went all the way in the 20s?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they just saw him as a slot receiver.
Oh, really?
Yes. Does everyone remember why Emeka?
This was 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, that was his freshman year.
Yeah.
What also the reason why Justin fell is because he had a couple really good wide receivers that were hogging the ball a lot. But when Justin did get the ball in his hands at LSU, because one of the things I had said when watching his film is it seems like there's too many cooks in the kitchen. But every time he gets the football, something special happens. And so I'm very intrigued to see how this guy goes to the next level. And obviously he blossomed. And you could say the same thing about Igbokwe at this point based on what the wide receivers that they pump out.
Igbokwe too. That's why he fell in the 20s.
Yep.
Bro, route running 1-0. Like this kid, oh my goodness, man. He would be the perfect wide receiver for this offense. All right, talk to me, Kyle.
Jalen Lane ran a 4.34. Absolutely killed the combine with a 4.34, 40-inch vertical, 11 broad. Watch what he does to D. Ricky right here. He's got a little shake on him. But watch that he turned. What I like about him is when he does have to turn around for the football, he's not losing momentum. And when you see him operate out of the slot, but the extra cherry on top with Jalen Lane is the fact that he is a returner. And so that's one need that Washington does need. And Jalen Lane, I think, is slowly starting to creep up draft boards because his stat line isn't going to be crazy for you. He's 5'10", 196 pounds, had 38 receptions this year for 466 yards and 2 touchdowns. But he also ran for, I think, 3 touchdowns on the ground. And this is one of those where the guy I interviewed, Elijah Alston, number 11, nearly abrupts it, but he just moves slightly to the side and moves over. Now, this is the guy you see the explosion of him moving out of the slot. You just find a way to get him the football.
How tall is he?
5'10".
Oh, he looks taller. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird because when I watch him, I almost see like a Jamison Crowder type of way. But if you notice this one, Deuce, so that slot guy is playing him, right? The slot guy the corner never touches him on this play.
Right.
Immediately jets to the inside, and he's too far gone for it. And I think this is the type of guy that where if you're talking about Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, and you're having them kind of respect that over the top net. Like, this is a guy that could operate from underneath and be able to make something happen. This is the incredible play for me, where you just see the vision and the athleticism.
Vision is crazy.
That's 1st and 20.
Mm.
You see that burst of speed right there, and he's going through his tackles, being able to see it. Man, I like this kid a lot. And the returning aspect is what really got me going a little bit, because you're adding a returner with 4.3 speed with the natural blockers on the field for you. I think something special could happen, especially with how many wide receivers we do have. It's not like we'd be thrusting him in right away in the starting lineup, but he could earn his way. And I think that's one thing this coaching staff is going to be pushing heavily. And we saw that with Luke McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's projected. Where is it? Jalen Lane. PFF has him as 189th overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're referring to. I think you're talking about. What's the kid name? Tutu.
Tootin. Bishal Tootin.
Yeah, Bishal. Yeah.
Virginia Tech. Yeah,
that's who you referring to. But I think a lot of teams is. Well, I don't say a lot of teams, but I think the knock on Tootin is putting the ball on the ground.
Yes, absolutely. But you do have to say Adrian Peterson also had fumbling issues. But they are two different people. I understand that. I'm just saying it can be fixed. And somebody like B-Rob didn't fumble a lot in college, but
2-on-1 game this year.
Yep.
But it's far in between. I wouldn't call him like a fumbler. All right, Beck.
The white guy. Sorry, man.
Hold on, man.
You're talking about contested catches and everything like that. You're going to see some here soon. But the one thing is, like, the press and getting off of it. Like, he's not a guy that has the agility, has the speed to be able to shake loose, but he finds way to get the job done. There's one provided
hold up. See, like, y'all think I'm crazy. This is my pet peeve with cornerbacks. You see what I'm saying? Look, why not open? Why are you turning? Why are you turning your back on the wire? Like, oh man, that's a pet peeve.
But that goes into what you were saying about Buka, right? He forces the corner to turn by moving his body to make it seem like he's going right, and then cuts it uphill to go for that post route, which opens it up just a little bit. And you're talking about the NFL of that body movement being able to manipulate people. And he showed you right there, he's able to do it. But the same question I have for Beck is the same one we had earlier, talking about Jaden Higgins and being able to get off press if need be and everything. But one thing about him, he's 6'2". He's a bigger dude. Projected right now to go, where is it? 38th overall by PFF, 6'2", 215 pounds. They graded him as a 33rd out of 1,040. So he's somebody that can operate in the middle of the field, has a bigger, but like if you get him against these DBs and that ball in his hand, he's tough to bring down, dude. And it's evident by his game film.
That's a good play. He's physical. Before we get to Trey, you got anything on Beck? Because I want to get
he played at LSU when Malik Neighbors and them were freshmen. So he's an LSU boy.
I guess he's older then.
Yeah, transferred out.
It's super senior.
I think he transferred after his first year when Jaden was there. But he didn't play at TCU the year before. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was an injury or something. But I think this is the first year he had officially played.
So what's going on with this guy, Kyle? Restro,
watch his block.
He's saying he's doing a little bit of crying on social media, man. He might not be a commander, man.
He's crying on social media. What'd he say?
No, last week when they was talking about his 40 time.
He say he pulled his hammy or whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing is with him, he's the type of guy. What I really like about Xavier Restrepo is that
he's at the bottom of the screen.
He's at the top. So watch up here.
Oh, here. Okay, number 7.
You see what he just did?
Yeah, just threw him down. He like he didn't get called for that, but I like it. I take it.
I'll take that any day of the week.
I take
You know what I'm
it.
saying? Because wide receivers typically don't like to get dirty, right? But he's a dude that just he just finds a way to get open. And this, if you go back to the beginning, you could see him get off the line of scrimmage there and be able to get inside, almost like a Jalen Noel in a way, but not as good as Jalen Noel because he does have the measurables don't match up with Jalen.
I like the
but
way he uses his hands too.
Yep.
See how he
And
uses his hands.
that contested catch, you're talking about the sideline, right? Like that's exactly what he shows you here. And what I really like about him is that he just finds a way to get open for Cam Ward. And you know how Cam Ward likes to create a play after the play. And Xavier Restrepo continuously was the guy that Cam Ward was targeting and going after. This one I think is amazing. It's fourth down, slips, still comes down with it.
Yeah, he lucky he caught that because it was a bit of trouble.
Oh yeah, and Tech got 2 interceptions in this game. Should have had a couple more, and that shouldn't have been. You know, it is what it is. We can't bring back the past, but they messed up. What I see out of him,
more of a possession guy.
I see him a lot like Danny Amendola. Like, do you see his route there where he fakes the outside, steps back in? Operate underneath the coverage, then being able to navigate. Like Danny Amendola wasn't a guy that blew you away with his speed or agility, but he just found a way to, manipulate things to get the ball and get upfield for you. It screams Danny Amendola to me.
What you got for him, DT?
Yeah, Xavier Restrepo, very productive player at the University of Miami. His best year by far with Cam Ward. I do see him in that light of a Danny Amendola. Also, a former Miami Hurricane, Braxton Berrios as well. One of those guys that is very shifty. I want people to understand that I understand that he did have the 4.73, but I don't think that was his real speed. And even if it was, sometimes the game speed determines better than an actual 40 time because some guys play way faster than what the 40 time is. But he's a guy that's going to be very reliable in your offense. Actually, Ryan Fowler said on the show, he gives him a commander tag. He's one of those guys that will look great in a commander's uniform, a DQ type player. So if he was on our team, and especially like not having a Jamison Crowder or Olamide Zaccheaus, even though those guys in terms of height are not what people desire, they're very reliable in those tough yardage situations, making those critical catches. And that's what Zaccheaus and Crowder did last year. And that's what Restrepo would do for this offense.
Cooking right now, DT, because you're absolutely right. I didn't know that Jameson Crowder's measurables were terrible when he coming out of the combine. And so you could almost equate that to what Restrepo is doing. And that's what I mean is just finding a way to get open and being able to help your quarterback out. And I think that honestly that you could do a lot worse. I think they had a private workout with Xavier Restrepo. And maybe that's because they wanted to be able to see if that injury was really a thing or if that's his real speed, right? But obviously like Deuce will say, the 40 is not a real indicator of play speed.
Yeah. I'm surprised he ran if he had did he do the hammy during because I don't know. I think
he said he had it before. I think it said that he tweaked his hammy in warm-ups or something.
So it had to happen after the physical then. Unless they do because they do their physical soon when they get there, right?
I would imagine. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I thought they do physicals and stuff when they first arrive for the combine. You know how they got different positions, how they go through each days or whatever. That's what I thought when I saw a list of what they do. So,
who's this? Is this Kyle Williams?
No, this Ty Felton.
Oh, okay.
There you go, DT. Look at this. This is a tough one right here, boy. Look, he's still fighting. Look, he got that. Like he run like he mad.
Like a bad kid.
Yeah, he got that mad run. That's some crazy concentration.
Yeah. If Jeremiah Smith was not at Ohio State in the Big Ten, he would have had the Big Ten wide receiver of the year. That's how good of a playmaker he is for the University of Maryland. He kind of reminds me a little bit of trying to think of some. I don't want to say Stephon a bit because Stephon was a little bit bigger, but in terms of like competitiveness, he reminds me of Stephon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he just makes plays, man. Like he ran a 4.37 at the combine.
Dude, that safety needs to get fired. You put that shoulder in his chest, dude.
Oh man.
Put a shoulder into his chest. Screw the ball.
Concentration.
Oh, come on, man.
Look how he uses his hands too. I like that. He uses his hands a lot after the catch.
Yeah, he do. Quick things I'll say. I feel like he's a crafty separator. Knows how to sell breaks. Great hands. Yards at the catch is something we definitely need. And like those little routes, like the tunnel routes, slants, bubble screens, he'll be very efficient in this offense if we do stuff like that.
No, you're right, dudes. That's the clip.
If we got him and Debo, because Debo run his routes aggressive like that. Man, you got him and Debo out there on the field. That's
6'2",
a lot of
6'2", 186 pounds.
He plays big, man. I think his shoulder pads is like a size too big. He probably like it like that.
Yeah, I like the height.
Yeah. Let me see who I got. A Mecca. I want to go back and watch Ty Felton. I think I like him, DT. I think I like Ty Felton. Who else do we have? Trey Harris.
There we go.
Yeah, where's Smoke at?
Oh no, his lights on his block went out.
Oh snap!
Lights went out, so he was trying to wait. I think he don't want to show his face because of Duke. That's what I'm going with.
I'm starting to feel like.
Why did something happen with Duke?
You know they lost yesterday.
Just kidding.
Oh yeah, that's funny. I tweeted out last night. Did the Cowboys lose? Talk to me, DT.
All right. If we're talking about prototypical size, those big 6'2", 6'3" wide receivers, big freaky guys like that. Pause when I say freaky. Trey Harris is one of those guys that is going to be loved in this draft. We think about some alumni. We think about the AJ Browns. We think about DK Metcalf. But also some people will probably bring some low light receivers such as Laquan Treadwell or even what's the kid name?
Ooh,
that Dallas traded for Mingo. But I don't see none of that with him. I think he's the next great Ole Miss wide receiver. He is like if you just look at him on the deep balls this year from Jackson Dart, he makes the play when the ball is in the air and he provides yards at the catch. So I see him as early / late day 2 wide receiver, and I would love to compliment Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel.
You got some sneaky moves. He actually might be that. Oh wait a minute! I didn't see that the first time. Wait a minute! Wait a minute! What's it? What? Look at 21. Oh my god! They like 5 y'all. Look at it. He couldn't get back to the play.
The sound effect was crazy.
His voice.
Oh my gosh! What? Look, he couldn't get back in the play. Like, he could have had the tackle. What's his draft? What's his draft grade?
Draft grade right now, I have him early day 2 / late day 2 pick.
Hold on, I need some more. More.
PFF has him listed as 81st overall, but they graded him as the 6th overall wide receiver out of 1,040.
And
that's third round.
In his ranking, they have a wide receiver 4, and our good buddy DP Damian Parsons, his pro comp to him is Michael Thomas.
Oh, the slant king.
Yeah. Now I will say for concerns I have is strictly that offense. Him playing at Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin, like when you see that offense, like the route tree, what they're asking him to do, how much of that in his game if he was to go to a more NFL centric offense. He looks like a guy that can play digs, but can he run? The out routes. Can he run those routes that lead to the outside? How effective can he be? The route running could need some refinement, but he has all the things that you need to play on the outside.
Contested catch.
Mm-hmm.
And he was hurt this year, y'all. His best game was the last game he played this year. That was against LSU.
The catch probability on that one had to be less.
That's
than 10.
insane.
That had to be less than 10. He just heaved that. Who's the quarterback, DT?
Jackson Dart, future New York Giant.
Like DT, I understand what you're saying about Lane Kiffin's offense. I almost put that on the quarterbacks. I think their wide receivers are able to operate very well, but I think their quarterbacks do get inflated based on the offense.
I have not seen this in a very long time.
Because, like, dude, I'll tell you, I was getting in so many arguments about Matt Corral. Like, I was like, dude, like, they keep telling me this dude's a first-round grade. He's going to be
he took his life, Vito.
a very good quarterback in the league. And I was like, I don't see it unless he goes to New Orleans with Sean Payton and throws slants all the time. And so I do worry about that with Jackson Dart. Is it the offense making him look good? But I think with this wide receiver group, I think that you can feel confident. Like Elijah Moore blew up in Lane Kiffin's offense, but hasn't done much with New York, right?
Yeah. Watch when is maybe y'all watch more college football. I don't see it a lot in the NFL. When is the last time y'all seen a shoulder drop off the line of scrimmage?
I don't know, Deuce.
Kyle, talk to when is the last time you saw a show? When is the last time you saw a shoulder drop at the line of scrimmage?
It's not something you see all that much.
And he put his hand up like, who is the quarterback? He going to the Giants? Yeah, send him to the Giants. Yeah, send that kid to the Giants. Cause look at this. Look.
Oh. And he had to come back for it. Oh,
it looked like Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, it looked like Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke and Terry. That's a little bit. Oh my goodness, that was a catch.
I actually like him a little bit more than Higgins.
Oh no, was that a catch?
Yeah, that was a catch. Oh
my God.
So, like the funny thing is, like when I got asked this question, like what's the one trait with wide receivers you separate over others? I say I'll say the same today is contested catches. Yeah. And because like in the NFL, you can't guarantee that you're going to generate space all the time. So you have to be able to catch them in short and small windows and with a defender on your back. And Trey Harris is
you're not pressing him off the line of scrimmage. He's too good off the line of scrimmage, man. He is too good off the line of scrimmage, man.
You remember in Waterboy when he's about to kick the onside kick and he's like, "Oh, there's my beat."
Look at this thing. Oh, look at that's South Carolina. Oh, I gotta bookmark this.
No way.
Who is this? I gotta find out who this is.
I hope that's not Nick.
That's a Gamecock. Hold up, that's a Gamecock. Let me bookmark this. I come back. That's a Gamecock. I like. Oh man.
Now, mind you, this LSU game was against Jada Daniels and crew.
This first year or second year? Well, I guess it don't matter.
That was the year Jada won the Heisman.
That's a special play right there.
Last year. This play, oh my goodness. This
21 did not go to any parties after this game.
The kid got moves. What's his measurables again, DT?
Some people say 6'2". I see 6'3", about 200, 210, 205, 210.
Oh my goodness!
I need him in burgundy and gold.
This is disgusting. That's disgusting, man. He did two of them.
Look at that! Look at the cornerback. Look at him. He ain't tackling me, but look. 86 ain't blocked nobody. Look.
This is so nasty.
He just standing there. Look. Oh my goodness.
He's admiring. He's like, dude, that just happened.
He's like,
that's with 50 seconds left. That's with 50 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, I like Harris. I like the kid Harris. For sure. All right, who we got left, guys? It's not gonna be too much longer.
Jalen Noel.
Jalen Noel.
I sent that into the group.
And DT, I think you had Thornton, right?
Yeah.
Right,
dude, Thornton is incredible, man. Like, what is his average per game? I think it was like north of 26.
26.7 yards per game.
Dude, it was incredible. That's Jalen Lane. There's too many Jalens in this draft class.
I'm about to say, I thought we did this one already. Jalen Noel.
I think it's one of the last ones I sent.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, it's at the very bottom. But it ran a 4.39 40, 41.5-inch vertical. But the real telling thing about him is he had 23 reps on the bench as a wide receiver, which was one more than Donovan Ezuriku did as a defensive end.
Oh my God! Look at the move again, Deuce.
These kids, man, look at that.
That's Higgins. Well, that's a linebacker. I get it, though. But look at that.
Wait till you see what he does against Sebastian Castro, the safety, who's going to be playing in the NFL. You talked about that route that you like, the out and up.
Yeah,
you're going to see it here soon. Look at that.
Oh my gosh!
Then nobody near him. Nobody near him.
Yeah. Wait a minute. He's here. Oh, was that the same one?
Yeah, that's the same play.
Route. Yeah. You saw the. Oh my goodness, bro. I need to find me a CF, college football.
Scroll down, dude. Scroll down. Where is it? Is this the one? Yep, that's the out and up for you. So look at it. So there's 25 seconds left in the game, and they need a play. They need to get into field goal range to win the game. And so they go to Jalen Noel, and the guy who's matched up on is Sebastian Castro, who's going to be drafted, safety from Iowa, 29. And you see that out and up.
Boop. Yeah, he's cooked. He let him get too close to him. Yeah, that was a good pass too. That was a great pass. That
quarterback is not bad, man. He can make some throws.
It was a great pass. That was a great pass. Great pass. Great pass.
All right, here's the blocking. He's number 13 right there in the slot on Sebastian Castro. That should have been called. Yeah. But just showing the willingness.
Hey, you want to get dirty, though. I ain't mad.
Yeah. Nope. I'll take that any day of the week, man.
Yeah, I ain't mad. What's up, Glenn?
So this one right here, this is him getting off the line, and Sebastian Castro just leaves him be. He's like, nah, you got it.
He's cooking him. Yeah.
He's like, you got it.
What's good, Mitch? Y'all ain't say. I got to show y'all something. Like this is one of the best moves I've seen in a long time. All right, what you got on Noel?
It's Noel.
Noel.
Yeah, he specifically said. So it's funny. Whenever I interview somebody, they always say Noel, and I'm telling you, like you look at his Twitter, the first pin tweet he had is it's pronounced Noel.
No. What you got on him, DT?
Man, like I said, the Iowa State duo was pretty insane, but he is such a smooth route runner, and he's able to create separation. And like I said earlier about Restrepo, when you talk about like guys that can play in the slot and be very effective, he will instantly, as much as we were talking about trying to get Christian Kirk, he would be a Christian Kirk in our offense. Like,
bingo.
He would be a 90 reception guy. He would help Terry so much as being a reliable target.
A captain of Iowa State. You saw the first play, him vertically, right? Working out of the slot, right? Like that's the sort of thing that separates him because he has that 4.39 speed. He has an explosive broad jump, and he catches the football. The one play I showed there, he gets off the press on Sebastian Castro, goes to the sideline, and you see him have that like uncontorted catch at the sideline, being able to come down to his hands. And you know that they relied on him in those crucial situations. I think that's something you can, if you want to extend the field vertically, you want to replace Diami Brown, working out of the slot with eyes on everyone else. I think I really like Jalen Noel, and I think right now he's floating around that 3rd to 2nd round area.
I think Brett Kaufman, draft analyst.
He had 1,000 yards and less than 80 targets.
Yeah.
We met with him. We had a meeting with him.
I think he had a picture of him and Santana Moss, like in comparison.
5'11", 200 pounds. He's probably 5'10". He's probably my height, which is dope.
Glenn, I gotta show you something. Glenn.
Is Glenn a Carolina fan?
Glenn, you there, Glenn? I gotta show you something. Glenn, you still? Do you think we have enough small receivers? I don't. This guy right here. Check this guy.
I could definitely watch this again.
Oh my gosh. I could watch this over and over.
I bet you 21 still thinks about this.
I probably played it too much. Hold up. I probably played it too much. Man, listen, I could care like the height thing at wide receiver, it doesn't do anything for me. Like if you can ball, you can ball. The height thing doesn't do anything for me.
And I'd be willing to argue
say that.
And I'd be willing to argue they have 3 guys with height right now with KJ Osborne, Michael Gallup, and Noah Brown. And so as much as we want to say it's a smaller wide receiver group, which is fine, but the best way that you can be able to combat the big type wide receiver issue and height is with speed. So if you're because Kansas City is perfect with that, where Kansas City produces smaller guys, but they're all fast.
Because I think it's a misconception on what you need height for.
Yeah,
like people say in the red zone, we need height, we need tall guys. Bro, Terry had like 9. We had 7 of his 9 or something like that in the red zone.
Yep. Well, and also what really helps you in the red zone is being able to run the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Being able to run the ball, even fade routes is not about height all the time.
Yep.
Right? Like it's about getting open, creating separation at the top of the route, and your quarterback putting it in the bucket.
Yep. If you have an accurate quarterback, you're good.
Yeah, I think people see AJ Brown and those guys. They're like, man, I gotta give me. No, it's not a lot of those. Like, get you a wide receiver that can separate. You get your wide receiver that can separate, then you ain't gotta worry about him being taller than the other guy.
A release package to me matters much more than somebody's size, or can they just run routes?
Yeah, I mean, we had tall guys. What happened to them? All of the Mo Harrises. We had like 4 Mo Harrises.
Josh Doxson.
Like, all right, they had height, you know what I'm saying? But just get me a wide receiver that can separate at the top of the route and a quarterback that can put it in the bucket.
And a wide receiver that could catch the ball in contested situations.
Exactly. Contested. Terry McLaurin is not 6'4".
Right.
And he's leading the league in contested catches like the last 5 years.
Exactly. Just if you can catch a football, contested catches situations, I can work with you any day of the week.
Like that's why when people talk about, I want me a tall guy, but like, bro, if he tall, cool. Like if he good wide, but don't just get him because he's tall.
Yep.
Right. Don't give me a 6'3" dude that plays 6'3". Like, what's the point of having you? I got a 6 foot dude that plays 6'3".
Right.
If you 6'3", that needs you to play 6'7", 6'6". You know what I'm saying? But if you separating and if you're creating separation, you'll never be in that position to have to out jump somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyhow, check this out, Glenn. This kid isn't like watch this move. Bro, look at number 21. Look at him. Look. You know why I'm loving this? Because I can imagine him doing that to Cooper DeJean. I can imagine him doing that to Cooper DeJean. Look at Cooper DeJean right there. Bro, the crazy thing is the tight end ain't blocked nobody at first, and both of them missed. I gotta watch him. I gotta see more of this kid. Oh my goodness. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I wish I watched him before. That's incredible.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I gotta watch this kid. Oh, I like him, man. I think I got my wide receivers, man.
What did he run?
Hang on, I got one more. There he go.
What did he run? What did he run in the 40, BT?
For all you Martavis Bryant things, we got your Martavis Bryant right here. Dante. Yep. He is literally Martavis Bryant Jr. And I mean Martavis Bryant Jr. Now, for this offense, we're losing Diami, and we obviously going to need another deep threat. Enter Dante Thornton.
Ran right past him. 25. Who's that? He's struggling. 26 struggling.
25.4 yards per catch last year. He was undoubtedly the most talented wide receiver on the Tennessee roster. Just didn't get a lot of opportunities. Should have got more, to be honest with you. And for an offense that had a Oblivion winner in Jalen Hyatt, he should have had more opportunities. But he's able to track the ball, make plays on the ball. He's 6'5" for Mr. Glenn. So he's a big wide receiver as well. He plays contested catches. I just think the only thing
what the ball is, man.
I think the only thing will be just a lot of people will probably look at the offense he played in, but also just the limited amount of snaps that he was getting.
That's a crazy.
Like he's somebody we need.
Like
this should have been a touchdown.
This guy saying that corner saying he's like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Yeah, that should have been a touchdown, bro. Oh my goodness. Who's that DT? Who's a quarterback?
Long name, but he's very mid.
Yeah.
They like using the Jaden Daniels offense a lot, running with the quarterback. He's pretty athletic.
Look at that, man.
He doesn't seem like a route runner. Maybe they don't ask him to because it looked like every time somebody check him, it's like 10 yards off. But I want to see him against some better teams, some better defenses.
Yeah, when you look up his stats, like the games that are provided that I could watch on him, like he wasn't targeted, and it wasn't like he was catching a lot in those games. And so it was hard to be able to see, like that Oklahoma game was very evident in being able to see what he could do.
But he might be one of those specialty guys that you might take a fly on late. I mean, what's his draft grade?
4th round.
Yeah. Because he's that dude, man. Can he does he do specials?
Does he do specials?
He does specials.
I think he can. I mean,
yeah, because that's the type of dude.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have no special team stats up here. I just know from watching him, he should have had more opportunities at Tennessee.
Yeah,
because that's the type of dude I would want for 5th round. I know we don't have it, but those type rounds that can also give you something on special team. Because like you need a weapon like this, bro.
He'd work for you on Hail Marys too. Just putting that in there. 6'5", 214 pounds.
So let me see. We got anything?
He also transferred from Oregon too.
The one guy that PFF didn't even have listed, but Andrew Armstrong from I believe it's Arkansas. And I know that they have Isaac Tesla coming out, but like this dude Andrew Armstrong, I watched him today and I was like, why is he not listed at all?
That is a good question. That's another guy that
He did Oregon 2 years.
yeah, I watched a lot, and he had the best numbers as an SEC wide receiver this year.
Yeah.
He's only had one touchdown.
Yeah.
Still have some things to work on in terms of like going against press receivers and stuff and use his size a little bit more. But that's someone I would probably draft or sign as an undrafted free agent and add some size to the room for those that like big wide receivers. But sometimes you look at him, and I know he has a number 2 jersey, but sometimes like when he makes people miss, it reminds me just a tad bit of CD Lamb.
He definitely has it, and like he catches the football when it's thrown to him.
Yeah, he has great. He has good hands from this.
He don't have that. He decelerates after he gets his initial acceleration.
He 6'4", 202 pounds.
It's probably because of the quarterbacks, DT.
Yeah, 78 receptions, 1,100 yards receiving with only 1 touchdown, like DT talked about, but average 14.6.
Rudy say he's the Army on crack. That's crazy.
Nah, he's Montavis Bryant Jr.
Dude, that Tennessee game.
Oh, Jalen Lane runs. He does. Awesome. Yeah, Thornton does, and Jalen Lane does specials.
Yep, that's what I was saying. That punt returning ability is the cherry on top with Jalen Lane. It is,
man. It's gonna be interesting. All right, anybody else y'all want to throw out there before we get out of here?
We didn't talk about Kyle Williams.
Yeah, Kyle Williams.
How about him again?
All right, we got some tape on him.
He did work against Travis Hunter. That might be in his highlights.
Of course. Actually might be a whole thing. But go ahead, Kyle Williams.
Look at Caleb coming in late.
His release off the line of scrimmage is probably one of the best in this class. Definitely somebody who could stretch the field vertically and horizontally for you. A very good route runner. I think he manipulates people very well. And Washington State, obviously, I got to look back to see what he did in 2023 with Cam Ward, if he was there. But that would be very telling to see what he does with a future pro quarterback and how he operated, which I'm about to look up right now.
DT, what you got on him, DT?
Yeah, so he's another guy that was boosting up as this process is going along. He's just a big play threat, man. When the ball get in his hand, he makes plays. Ooh. He tracks the ball very well. Granted, incredible.
Man, that's a terrible angle.
The short area of equipment is the one thing you see.
He has 70 receptions, nearly 1,200 yards receiving, 14 touchdowns this year.
Yep.
That's a good route.
Can play inside and out.
Oh, they say he dropped it. Stagger route. Man, I love this football stuff.
I would love him in this offense too.
What's his measurables?
This says
6 foot.
Yeah, 6 foot.
Look at that. All right. Tough guy.
Grade, they have him as a 3rd rounder, and his pro comp is Tyler Boyd.
I can see that.
I need him to catch that.
Yep.
What's his draft? I need him to catch these joints. What's his draft? What's his
projection?
Yeah, that's a good route. Yeah.
160. So 5th round, 4th round. And he was graded 66th out of 1,040.
So a lot of times, man, like when you watching tape with some of these guys, like you can see the separation between a lot of guys that's like, top 20 in their positions and those that are like back half. When you watch his tape, and what's the other guy? like Higgins, for instance. But like when you look at his tape, like you see something like this, you're like, oh yeah, that's what we need. But you just kind of got to think about like the competition that they're playing against. And when he has better coverage and contested catches, was one of Cal's traits that he needs in the wide receiver.
Well, you can see
like
here,
even that right there. Like I need you to
Syracuse defense. That's a very
good defense.
Yeah,
and like
good
you can see what they're doing with him is they're getting bodies off of him off the line of scrimmage to get him free releases, which may hint at what he might struggle at in the NFL. But if he shakes you, he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cuddy, we did do Ty Felton.
Yeah, I like Ty Felton, Cuddy. Oh man.
He has starting upside, I would actually say. Probably be a rotational piece when he starts out.
Season complete. Yeah, I gotta do a little bit more, but some of them clips, like he dropped a lot of the contested ones with some contact. You just gotta see.
Another guy that I just wanted to say real quick, I liked early on from UNLV, Ricky White, who's 6'1", 190 pounds. He actually didn't test out very well at the combine and stuff like that. But I think that he has the makeup for somebody in the late round, like UDFA type stuff to bring in here, just a weapon. So I really, really like Ricky White. He caught my eye early on.
Jimmy Horn, like it seemed like every game I used to watch, he used to always drop passes. Maybe it was just me.
I like LeJounte, the other wide receiver from Colorado.
He coming out too?
Yeah, all three wide receivers coming out.
Ricky White. Ricky after the catch.
Yep. Thank you, Rudy. Totally agree.
Somebody asked me today, so what you think y'all gonna do at 29? I said, man, I'm not used to being at 29. I don't know. I don't know what we gonna do at 29. I'm just gonna be
let
honest.
the board move, man. That's what we do.
Yeah, let the board move. All right, man. I think we got like 2 more weeks before the draft. I think 2 more shows before the draft. We still got to do D tackles and running backs, right?
Yeah.
So we'll probably do running backs next week, and then D tackles.
Might have to come back to wide receivers at the start of the episode next week too, just because there's so many.
We missed. Oh yeah, I know we missed some. I know we missed a lot. I know we missed some of smoke guys.
We like still missed edge rushers.
Yeah, we missed.
Oh yeah, we did. Like Horton from Colorado State is another guy. Pat Bryant from Illinois. Nick Nash from San Jose State. There's a lot of capable guys.
Let's do let's see if we can do next week. We should be able to start at 8 too. And we'll go straight into it. Maybe let's do defensive tackles and running backs next week. And then I know, so like an hour and a half. Like let's
I'm gonna start on it tomorrow.
Yeah, let's get it in. Try to do that. Please them, man. Running backs. We start with the D tackles. Do running backs. I'll try not to ad lib as much unless I see something like what I saw tonight. And the last week, let's kind of go back and see what we missed or who we want to like expound on.
You want to
last week, and then we'll do like a mock draft too.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the last episode.
Typically we do this stuff off air.
Jalen Royals.
I think we did the Vols good, didn't we? Didn't we do the
Thornton? Yeah, we did.
Thornton, yeah, we did him. Okay, you gotta go back and watch, Cuddy. We did him too. Jalen Royals. Oh, he was kind of showing up the last few weeks.
Yeah, Utah State kid.
Yeah. All right, man. Almost there. Stretch is almost there. DT, what you got coming up this week?
For those who missed the latest episode of Command Time, we all three of the co-hosts did a individual mock draft. Go ahead and check that episode out. Click like, subscribe to the channel, and also stay tuned. To be much more mock drafts to come. And I am going to be doing a tier of players that will be at 29.
Kyle, what you got?
Same old, man. Working nearby this week. I don't have to drive 2 hours each way this week. So looking like I might have a little bit more time in my hands, which I'm going to need it if we're doing running backs and DTs next Sunday night, man. I did a lot of work on the DTs, which should be coming easy. But the running backs, that's that's a real sticky subject around here, especially with what we have. So going to have to dive deep.
B-Rob. You see that he was on the flyer from NFL Fox 5. He was one of the 5, him and Jaden, as the best running back quarterback duos in the league.
Don't tell our fans that.
For me, I think starting on Tuesday, I'm going to try to, a lot of these players that we went over these last few weeks, I'm going to pull out some of the guys that I like. And I'm going to kind of do like 5 highlights and 5 lowlights. Do them in videos and kind of put them out through the week. Just give you like a little, just a little deeper dive into these guys that I like for us to kind of go at. So be on the lookout for all of that. We also have our draft, our annual draft, charity draft competition, 3rd annual charity draft competition this year, coming up in a couple weeks. So we're starting to prep for that. We have 2 more spats. We have tons of fun doing it. We got one winner. Actually, the inaugural winner is here. And Kyle, he won the first year. Him in this group won the first year.
It was just me.
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. One. So that was great. So DT is looking to finally get a win on this year.
Please.
But we do have 2 more spats. And it's for charity. Of course, it's $50 entry. The winners get whatever the half is of the 10 teams, or the 2 teams of 10 players get 50% of the winnings, and the rest this year is going to the Hog Farmers Charitable Foundation. One of their children that has pediatric cancer, we're going to send that to them. Last year, we did one of our own who was actually on this show last year. We helped them in the time that he was going through. We was able to help him out with some small things, which was great for him. And I think the first year we also did Hog Farmers. I think I don't remember, but yeah. So if you're interested, just let me know. Hit me up. Put me in the DMs. And let me know if you want more information. But we do need, I think it's like 2 or 3 more spats if you want to get in. So that's about it, man. You got to get up out of here. Go ahead, DT.
Oh, do not forget, Enters the Lab podcast returns on April 10th.
April 10th, which is this week. All right. We know your time is very valuable for you to spend it with us. We absolutely appreciate it. Remember, do it because you love it, not because it loves you. 1 beat, 1 sound, 1 heart, 1 love. Shout out OV.